How I useless my life, future as a student. I sit here now, in total darkness, regretting every single choice I made that brought me to this point. I can no longer see the world, no longer see my parents, or the faces of the friends who once loved me. My life is filled with regret, and every moment reminds me of how I useless my life and destroyed my future. My name is David, and this is my story. I was once a bright, promising young man. My parents worked hard to send me to school. My father sold his last piece of land to pay my school fees and accommodation, while my mother hawked vegetables in the market to support me. They always said, "David, you are our hope. Don't let us down." I promised them I wouldn't, but little did I know how fast life could change. When I got to university, everything was new and exciting. At first, I stayed focused. I attended lectures, did my assignments, and even joined the fellowship group on campus. But things started to shift when I met some boys in my hostel who lived differently. They dressed in flashy clothes, carried expensive gadgets, and always had money to spend. They called me Papa Serious because I was always reading. I didn't like the name, so I started hanging out with them just to prove I could also enjoy life. The first time I followed them to a club, I was shocked. The place was loud, filled with smoke and people dancing like they didn't have any worries in the world. One of the boys handed me a glass of alcohol and said, "Relax, David. Life is short. Enjoy it." I took a sip, and from that day, I was hooked. Soon, clubbing became my weekend routine. From there, I started smoking. I told myself it was just for fun, but before long, I couldn't go a day without it. I became addicted, and it was affecting every area of my life. I stopped attending lectures. My grades dropped drastically, and I started failing courses. But I didn't care. I thought I was enjoying life, not knowing I was digging my own grave. My parents didn't know what was happening. Whenever they called, I lied to them. I told them I was doing well in school, and they believed me. But my life was spiraling out of control. I started hanging out with older women who would give me money and gifts in exchange for my company. At first, it felt exciting, but deep down, I felt empty. I was losing myself, and I knew it. One fateful night changed my life forever. After a wild party, I got into a car with one of the women I was seeing. She had been drinking heavily, but I didn't care. I just wanted to get back to my hostel. On the way, she lost control of the car and we crashed into a tree. When I woke up in the hospital, everything was dark. I couldn't see anything. I screamed, thinking it was the night. But the doctor came in and told me I had lost my sight permanently. Hearing those words broke me. I cried for days, thinking about all the mistakes I had made. If only I had stayed focused on my studies. If only I had listened to my parents and avoided bad friends. If only I had not stepped into that car that night. But it was too late. My life was in ruins. When my parents came to see me in the hospital, they didn't say much. My father just held my hand and prayed, while my mother sobbed quietly. I could feel the pain in their hearts. I had let them down. I had let myself down. Now, I live in darkness, both physically and emotionally. The smoke I once enjoyed, the clubbing I thought was fun, and the lifestyle I pursued have all left me empty and broken. My education, my dreams, my future, all gone. If you are reading this, please learn from my story. Don't let bad friends deceive you. Don't trade your future for temporary pleasures. Life is not about enjoying now and regretting later. Focus on your education, respect your parents, and make good choices. I learned this lesson too late. But you still have time. Don't waste